Hello everyone. In the previous few videos, we were discussing about various black box testing techniques. Today, we will be looking at white box testing techniques and one of its example called statement coverage. So let's get started. White box technique, also known as structural or structure-based techniques, are based on an analysis of the structure of the component or system. White box techniques use information about how the software is constructed to derive the test cases. For example, using the structure of the code and the design specification to derive the test cases. You can use structure-based testing techniques to measure test coverage. Test coverage provides an objective measure and if applied to testing criteria based on priorities and risk, it may be applied as part of the completion or exit criteria defined in the test plan. Test coverage could then be used to determine when to stop testing in the final step of the test process. Test coverage is measured as the percentage of the coverage items. Test coverage is number of coverage items divided by total number of coverage items and multiplied by 100. For example, you have written a program that has 20 statements. You have created a test set that covers 13 of the 20 statements, which means the test coverage is 65%. This percentage value helps you to determine whether you would need additional test cases to cover the remaining statements. The coverage should ideally be 100%. Depending on the number of system elements to be tested, you can measure coverage at various levels. They are component testing, integration testing, and system or acceptance testing. In component testing, each unit of code, such as a module, object, or class, is tested separately. For example, if the code contains 5 functions, each of them is tested independently. Unit testing is typically done by the developers themselves, and any bugs found are fixed at that stage itself. In integration testing, the integrated units of codes are tested. You measure coverage of the specific iterations, interactions between the units or modules in the code that have been tested. You can also measure the code coverage of modules, objects, or procedures. In system or acceptance testing, the code is tested as a whole. Coverage items include client requirements and user elements. It also includes business transactions. To effectively measure coverage, you can use testing tools. Testing tools helps to create test cases and improve productivity and test efficiency. You can add code next to each element that is going to be tested. For example, in case of for each loop, when the test set is executed, it will also display that code that you have inserted and enables you to record whether this structural element has been exercised. Such type of code is called as instrument code. Instrumentation can be used to determine the percentage of the element that have been executed. In white box testing, you need to generate test cases from code. So you need to be able to understand and analyze the code. For this, we make use of pseudocode. Pseudocode does not belong to any particular programming language. Rather, it is a simplified shorthand version of the source code that typically covers all the important control structures used in programming. Sometimes, programmers use pseudocode to decide on the design and structure of the program before actually writing the source code. Pseudocode are of two types: non-executable and executable pseudocode. There are certain lines of code that does not perform an action. They are considered non-executable code statements. Non-executable code includes statement, variable declarations, etc. These statements are usually written at the beginning of the program and do not result anything. Executable code statements instruct the computer to take a specific action and return a result. For example, the code for calculating a value such as an individual tax is executable code and is usually written between begin and end constructs. You can write a statement on a single line, spread it across multiple lines, or have multiple statements on one line. You can also have statements within statements. Statement coverage helps to measure the percentage of executable statements tested by a set of test cases. Measuring statement coverage helps you to assess whether testing is complete and thorough. If statement coverage is less, then you can improve coverage by creating more test cases. Hope you have understood about white box testing technique. Thank you for watching this video. Please do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more contents like this. Till then, happy testing!